Hi everyone, it's Lex from the Land Rover Lex channel. I've got a confession, which is as of this morning, around 7:50 a.m., I made a reservation for Ineos Grenadier. And I must say, as a Defender lover, Defender owner, Defender enthusiast, have been following the Grenadier story for a while now. And I think about 6, 7 weeks ago, I thought, you know what? Take the next step. Just do it. So I went on the Grenadier website and I said, sign me up. I'd like to potentially buy one. Currently own a Defender. I'm in. Anyway. So I did that about a month and a half ago. And then last weekend, I got an email saying that I will be receiving an activation code on the 30th of September. I'll get an activation code, and I can use that code to make a reservation for my Grenadier. And I was like, whoa, this is getting real now. Crap. So I started doing more research to understand if it's worth investing in it and da. And then yesterday they had a YouTube and I think Facebook live events where they brought out their big guns. They had a Q&A session. They answered loads of questions. They provide clarity around sort of where you can buy your Grenadier from, the markets they're going to be selling in. For example, it's going to be available in the UK from next summer, but actually in North America and other countries, it's going to be from 2023. They talked about sort of service centers and sort of buying stations, whatever they're called. So the sellers, so they're looking into a deal with BMW. They're looking into a deal with Bosch as well for servicing. So they're really working hard behind the scenes to make sure you don't just get left with a car and you struggle to service it or repair it. So I think they're doing great jobs there, which is amazing. So it was good to hear all of those good things yesterday. And then I woke up this morning. Activation code had been sent to me around like 10 past 12 a.m. So I just went online, did it, paid it. So I'm hoping in this video I'll sort of talk you through the reservation process. I'd like to talk through how much it costs to reserve, and then also talk through people that are called the early hand raisers. Just quickly cover that, and then a few other things. Talk about the price: £48,000 for a base model. That's a lot of money, a lot. So talk about that, and then after I actually made a reservation, I then realized I could go in and do some configuration. Although I can't complete it yet, I'm gonna have to wait till sort of early next year, potentially I think around February, March. They'll call people who've already made reservations and sort of invite them in to sort of complete their reservation by sort of building and configuring their Grenadiers. And I think up until that stage, your money is refundable. But after that stage, it's no longer refundable. You going into the contract then. And then once you've done that early next year, you then get your delivery around sort of July 2022. And just before you receive your delivery, they'll then call you to sort of make the financial arrangements you need to make sure the money gets to them and the truck gets to you. So anyway, you can actually go in and begin to configure your Grenadier, and I've done that already. It's very exciting. So I'll do some configuration for you online. I've brought my laptop with me, so we'll go through that, and then after that, then cover two key areas. Number one is I'd like to talk through three key things I really like about the Grenadier so far, and then finally talk about three areas I think they could improve on, and we'll end it there. So that's the plan, and yeah, let's go ahead and let's do it. Cool. Okay, let's do it. So first points to cover: early hand raisers. I think as far as the Grenadier is concerned, you'll hear this phrase being thrown around for the next couple of weeks or months. Early hand raisers are people like myself. So those of us who went online early, I think I was probably late in the process. I don't know how they managed to count me in. But those of us who went in early and said, look, count us in. We want to be in. We want to buy it. We want to follow your journey all the way through. It's like those who bought Tesla early. You know, the those who are ahead of the curve in a way, who threw their money away, so to speak, and hope for the best. So those are the early hand raisers. And apparently there is 75,000 of us early hand raisers, and I assume those 75,000 early hand raisers will be sent an activation code to make a reservation. Now my assumption is not all of those 75,000 people will make a reservation. I would say maybe 50, maximum 60% of those people will make a reservation. And I'll tell you the reason why. I think the reservation fee, which I'll come back to cover in a minute, is £450. I think it's a bit steep. But before we go into that, the way it works is you get sent the activation code today, and then because you're an early hand raiser, you've sort of followed their journey early on, you have 2 weeks to make a reservation, so to be at the front of the queue. And then reservation gets opened to the wider public from, I believe it's the 14th of October, so everyone else can then reserve, but we will be at the front of the queue, those of us who go ahead and make our reservation now. So I think so that's the point behind it, where they're rewarding us for sort of being at the front of the queue and sort of committing to following their journey through. So that's number one. Number two is the price, £450 to reserve the opportunity to buy a Grenadier. I think it's cheap. Tesla, I'll admit, I've also made, I paid not a deposit but reservation fee of £100 for the Cybertruck. This is more than 4 times that. That's a lot of money to ask people to part ways with now. So 450 is very, very steep, and I can bet a lot of people will go, well, yes, I want to follow your journey, but £450 now, I'm not sure. Having said all of that, it is refundable, and I'll show it to you when we go through the configuration bit. Once you've paid it, you can go back online anytime. Between now and early next year, when they ask you to configure your car, between now and then, your £450 is fully refundable. So you can go back online, click a refund button, and process your refund. So you can get your money back anytime, which is great, right? It's refundable. However, people are still parting ways with £450 between now and when they're able to pay the full price. Again, if you think about it, if you're buying a car that, and we'll talk about the price later, but if you're buying a car that base value 2-seater, which I think most people go for the 5-seater, if a 2-seater version is 48k, I suppose if you're looking to buy that value of a car, paying £450 probably is affordable for you. But for those of us who are a bit unsure about the price, we think it's a bit high, £450 maybe a little bit, I'm not so sure. But I think going back to the 75k early hand raisers, I reckon 50-60% will go ahead, and 40%, 50% may go, £450, I'm not sure, I'll just wait and pay the full price. Some may even assume the price will go down. I think it will go up. I think there'll be a lot of interest from the wider public, but that's my view. So I think 450 is steep, but in the context of you paying 40 8k minimum for a car, perhaps for 50, it's reasonable for you. I don't think everyone will take it up. I think 50-60% will take it up. But I think once it's open to the wider public, I think there'll be a lot more interest in it. So that's where that is. So we've covered early end reserves, we've covered the reservation fee, the booking process. I thought it was very straightforward, very quick. You just go in online. You probably need to sign up and create an account. You will need to create an account actually. So create your account and then make a payment. Very quick. It can be done within literally 2 minutes. Just go in, sign up. So get your activation code, put it in, sign up, create an account, enter your payment details, press confirmation, boom, it's all done. So I think that's great. As we're getting all of that done, it was very, very intuitive, straightforward. So we've covered that as well. I think we should move on to the price. And the price will be a two-way conversation. So I'll cover some of it now, and then I'll cover the part B when we go through the configuration on my laptop. £48,000. Now that £40,000 is just for the what's it called? The utility wagon, the two-seater. Now, why am I buying it? I'm buying it as someone currently owns a Defender. It could potentially replace my Defender. I'm undecided. I may keep my Defender. Who knows? But as someone who likes to be outdoor, likes to go camping, I don't necessarily do sort of, crazy off-road driving and green laning. I'm not quite there yet. I live in London. I'd like to do more of that. I've not done enough of it. Actually, I haven't done it. Hands up. This Grenadier looks capable well enough to do that. I've been a bit too careful with my Defender, so I haven't taken it off-road yet and doing all sorts. But if I'm buying a Grenadier for that purpose, I don't want a two-seater. I want a five-seater. I want to carry more people in. So that means the 48k two-seater wouldn't apply to me. So I probably would need to pay a couple of £1,000 more to get a five-seater utility wagon or a five-seater station wagon. Now, the price of those two trucks haven't been made known to us yet. What we currently know is that the base model, the two-seater utility wagon, will cost £48,000. That is the same price you would pay, roughly the same price you would pay, just about maybe about £8,000 less. You would pay for a brand new Defender 110 five-seater, fully capable. Again, I think it's unfair we're comparing this to a Defender, but that is the closest thing we have right now. So I'm sorry, we are going to compare this to a Defender to a large extent, which in a way, the context, doing this in a Defender, could be doing this at home. But I think it's fair to compare this to an extent to a Defender. So a brand new Defender is roughly around sort of 49 grand, Defender 110. So I think from a base level, I don't think Defender would be holding their breath. I think they'll be thinking, well, we're still competitive. So I think the price seems quite high. However, it seems Grenadier are justifying this by saying, look, this truck will last forever. This is a forever truck. We're not building something that will break down within, a year or two, which is a fair point. So they've invested heavily in the mechanisms and in the construction of the truck, and they feel actually, we've put a lot of money into this, and you're buying something that's truly well built and will serve its purpose, which is fair, and I respect that. But again, am I going to keep the Grenadier for like 10 years? It's going to be my forever truck? Probably not. Maybe I'll keep it for about 5 years and then move on to something else. Maybe there'll be a new model, who knows. But I think I'm hoping that once it starts selling, it holds its value in that once it goes off, leaves the showroom, the value doesn't drop. I think if the value stays high, then it would make sense to invest that much money, because you would feel you can get some of it back once you've bought it. So I'm hoping it maintains its value. The value doesn't drop like other cars or similar trucks would do. If it does drop, then really you gotta think about whether it's worth paying that much money for something that loses its value. But I don't think it will. I think they're doing a great job. I'm excited about what they're building, and that's why I'm sort of following the journey. So I think if it's going to hold its value, paying 48 grand plus could make sense and could be a smart investment if you go in early, especially if demand outweighs supply. And I think the issue of chip shortages was brought up at the Q&A session, and they said, look, we've planned for it. We think we'll be able to meet the demand as a result of, despite rather, the chip shortages. So we'll see, but I feel now is the time to get in, and that's why I've gone in now. But 48k for me for a two-seater utility wagon is steep, but I think it's still worth paying the 450 to see what happens when they call me in February, March next year. And at that stage, I'll make a decision as to, you know, whether to progress or not. Maybe I will. But anyway, that's it for now on the price. I think we should now go into the configuration, and then I can talk you through a lot more about the price and various other things. So let's go ahead and let's do that. Good. Hello. So today is the next day. I chose to stop recording yesterday because I wanted a better quality video. And then also you see we are at home, and I thought it would be better to actually go through the configuration on a bigger screen rather than doing it on my laptop. So today we'll be doing two things. The first is the exciting configuration of the Grenadier to my specification, and then the second thing, in a separate video also being done today, I'll be talking about 3 things I love about the Grenadier and 3 things they should be improving on. But that'll be done in a separate video because I think it will be too much to cram everything into one single video. So please watch out for that video. And yeah, let's do it. Configuration time. So before I dive into the configurations, I think it's worth just talking about the 4 options you have currently. Well, maybe 3.5 options you have. So we've got the station wagon, which is sort of the more, you know, family-friendly 5-seater station wagon. I'm unsure if they're going to be doing a 7-seater, maybe 2 more seats at the back in the cabin, in the loading bay. I'm not sure, but we've got a station wagon. And then here you've got the utility wagon, and this has 2 options. So you've got a 2-seater, which is the one we know will cost at least £48,000. And then you've got a 5-seater utility wagon as well. So that's the third. And the fourth one, which we've seen pictures of online, but actually isn't yet available, and as it says here at the bottom, it's coming soon. That's a double cab pickup option. Now, I am very, very excited and very interested in that double cab pickup option, just because I think it's going to offer more versatility. And I've got a sort of a station wagon Defender 90, so to speak, and I really would like something with an extra bed space. So I'm hoping that come early next year, when they invite people in to sort of complete their reservation and do the proper configuration, I'm hoping the double cab pickup version will be ready then, because I'll be really, really interested in that. So those are the options we currently have here. As far as I'm concerned, I really want to get the best value for my money. If I were to look at it from a pricing perspective, right? We know that the 2-seater version will cost £48,000. I'm assuming the next model after the 2-seater utility wagon is the 5-seater utility wagon. And then I think after that, we then move on to the station wagon. And then potentially, I'm assuming the double cab may cost more or may cost less than the station wagon. I do not know. And you might be asking, well, what's the difference between the utility 5-seater wagon and the station wagon? I looked this up, and I think the only key differences are this panel here is just sort of partly aluminium, and this is glass. I think those are the sort of the visible differences. One more difference I think there is apparently the utility wagon has a larger loading area, so a larger boot space than the station wagon. So besides that, I think everything else is the same. So because I want something cheap, well, because I want to pay less for more, I'm going to be going with a utility wagon, which I'm hoping will be cheaper than the station wagon, assuming this double cab would be ready by the time we're invited to go through configuration. So I'm going to be doing my configuration based on a 5-station, based on a utility wagon 5-seater, and let's do that. Cool. So you click on configure, and it takes you to this page, and we'll be configuring here. But I love this. This is one of the things I really like about this, and I'll cover that later. Is you get the option to choose where you want to, what background you want. So, given I would like to buy this, and I'm hoping to spend most of my time outdoors, just camping and sort of doing some off-roading when I can. So I'll be going with an outdoor background. Let's do that. Exciting. It looks great already. Okay, so I've got that done, and I'll just show you quickly around the Grenadier. So you've got the front, and then it sort of moves gradually to the sides and shows you around. There's also a 360-degree view, which I will show to you very shortly. But just going by the pictures first, just to show you what we have there, and then let's go to the roof. There we go. Let's go to this side, and we'll talk about this later. And then on the roof, and that's pretty much it. So that is that sort of shows you around the Grenadier. Now let's configure. Let's get into it. So when you're configuring, you get two options. You get to configure the exterior and then the interior, and that's pretty much it. So exterior, you get the drivetrain options. So you have quite a few options here in terms of what to go with. You've got a 3-liter turbo petrol, 3-liter. I mean, it says straight 6. This sounds so American. I mean, I don't think we say straight 6 in the UK, but it sounds interesting. I've gone through this, and some of them I couldn't quite tell the difference. So here you've got a BMW 3-liter turbo petrol straight 6 engine. Here you've got exactly the same thing. So what's the difference? Again, the same thing here. I think they're probably still playing with this. They need to clarify what the difference is, at least across these three areas. And then you've got diesel here, the same thing again, the same statements, but we don't really know what the difference is. They're both twin turbo diesel straight 6 engine. So some clarifications will be needed there. But I'm quite surprised that this is an option, differential locks front and rear. I would have thought this would be a standard sort of thing built into the Grenadier. But you know what, for the sake of argument, let's say we want a 3-liter diesel engine. There you go, we've gone with that. See, once you click on one, it collapses the options. Cool. And then we definitely want the locks, the front and rear. Done. So that's the engine selected. Boom. Done. Body color. Now I've played with this, and we can do that again. So you've got solid white, which is what we had previously. Sorry about that. Let's put on mute. Good. So you've got solid mushroom. You've got solid light blue. I'm not sure. It looks like a paint out G-Wagon or a wrapped G-Wagon. I'm not sure about that. Metallic light blue. Now this is my preference. I know you've got other colors. You've got solid dark blue. Looks alright. I'm not sure. Not for me. Solid green. I think could look good. Solid green could look good. Brings back memories of Defenders, the sort of the TD5s, the green ones with a white roof. I think this could be a good color for some people. Metallic red. Yeah, looks expensive. Looks expensive. Solid black, standard, nothing major, not a problem. And then you've got other colors as well you can play with. You can do that later. But for the sake of this, I am going to be going with metallic blue. I like it. I like the metallic blue. It speaks to me. So I'm going with metallic blue. Next is roof color. You can either get a standard body color, which is fine. I think most people probably do that. I personally will be going for a black roof. I think it contrasts really well with the metallic blue color I've gone for. It's taken its time to load. I'm sure eventually it will come up. Oops. Let's see if we can reload this. This is the first time this has happened. It usually happens straight away. There you go. So a black roof. You could also go for, if you want, a white roof. Now, if you look at it, I feel this white, the white roof looks good, but I think they got it from Defender, clearly. It's a really cool look. It gives you that sort of commercial Defender look. I think it's quite nice. But yeah, I'll go with the black. I'm going with black. Staying with black. Black and blue. Good. Now let's move to wheels. So for the wheels, you have two options as far as sizes, the size is concerned. Excuse me. So you've got a 17 inches wheel, or you've got a 17 inches. So you've got 17 inches steel wheel, or 17 inches alloy wheel, and you've got 18 inches steel wheel for size, or you've got 18 inches alloy wheel. My preference, personally, would be to go with the basic wheels. And the reason why I'm doing that is because once I've got this, I intend to basically slam on these the biggest wheel I can get under those arches without them rubbing. So that could be, I'm assuming 33, 34 inches. Probably not 35 inches, but I'm thinking 33 inches could be good, or 34 could be the biggest. But we'll see what we can put on it. So because I'm going to be changing the wheels anyway and the tires, and I'm going to be getting sort of larger, wider, mud terrain, big, massive tires on, I'll be going with the basic wheels for now. And then we move on to, largely, we're almost there as far as exterior is concerned. The off-road options, effectively. So I definitely want a ladder. Add that onto it. You know what? Let's just see what the ladder looks like very quickly. You can click on this zoom button here, and it shows you. It takes you to the back of the Grenadier, and you can see a really beautiful ladder. It's just in one color, and that's black. And you know what? Yes, I'd like a raised air intake. I may never use it, but it looks badass. I want it. So let's have it. Utility window panel, basically this I think converts it from, a utility vehicle to the standard family one. So you know what, let's stamp some glass in there, and I'm hoping it's still going to be cheaper than if I'd gone for the station wagon. So that's that. But actually, this is interesting. You could also have the gull wing windows there instead, and I'll show you what that looks like. If you look here, and these are ones you can lift up. So if you're camping, for example, you don't want to have to open the doors or open the back doors. You can just sort of, or even if you're indoors actually, people who like shooting and sort of going hunting, this is what you're after. But you know what? I don't need that. I prefer to have my glass over there, so that's great. Utility window panel, no. Spare wheel cover, definitely. Let's make it look smarter. Great, that looks good. Exterior utility belt. Now, this is one of the things I really love about the Grenadier, and I'll touch on this later in the next segment. But let me show you what this looks like. The utility belt. There you go. So for those of us who like to hang things off our trucks, this is it. This is what you're looking for. It comes as options, and that's amazing. Safari windows. Now, I think it depends. I personally would like this, but my preference for going with Safari windows, and I'll show you what they look like, will be dependent on the options or availability of roof racks, and I'll touch on that later. But for now, Safari windows, yes, let's do it. And moving on to the final section of the exterior is you can either go with side runners or rock sliders or heavy duty winch. Now, rock sliders definitely, it's more hard wearing, it's more heavy duty. If I were to buy this, I'd want to drive to the, the most hard to reach places, and I'd like to test out those rock sliders. So definitely rock sliders. Let's slam that on. It doesn't look the most appealing, I'll show it to you, but I think it will do the job. I'd like it to be bulkier and look sort of crazy, but it's fine. I mean, I'm sure it's probably better in real life. Okay. And do I want winch? Of course I do. I may never use it, but it looks great. For now, we cannot see what the winch looks like. We just need to imagine it's going to look badass somewhere in the front here, but we don't know what's going to look like yet. So I'm just going to trust Grenadier and go with a heavy duty winch for now. Now that concludes the options for the exterior. Now let's go straight into the interior options. Okay, it's loading. Cool, thank you. So two options. You can either get a utility trim or you can get a leather trim. Let's see what both options present. So this is the leather option. So it changes obviously the seat, and also you can see some changes here as well. And if we go with the utility options, you can see it gives you the utility, the sort of the material effect here. Interestingly, not much changes on the dash. The dash stays the same all the way through. I think it could be great sort of to make some changes to this, but again, it's a utility vehicle. It's not a premium. It's not competing against Porsche or Range Rover, so it's fine. But you know what? I'm going with the utility trim. It's cheaper. I don't want to spend any more money on that, and I'm going to be driving it off-road and stuff and camping. So utility is fine. Although with the leather, I could probably clean it quicker if there's any stain on it, and the stain on the utility might just end up sticking. But you know what? I need to manage my budget, so I'll stick to utility for now. Flooring. What are the options? So I feel so you've got a heavy duty utility flooring, which also has drain valves, or you've got carpeted flooring. Now I want something that is inexpensive, and my gut feel is that the carpeted may be cheaper than the utility flooring because this comes with drain valves. You know what? I don't really mind. I'll just go with the heavy duty one for now with the utility flooring, and I'm going to assume it's a bit cheaper. Next option, yes, I've seen a lot of videos about this. The saddle leather driver pack. It's basically the steering wheel and the handbrake they'll have the saddle leather, and it wears better. It will last much longer, and I can see the evidence for it and the thinking behind it. But I'm just going to. I think I'll just go with the basic one. And in a way, I feel the red colors just stand out. Just this and this. I think if you're going to do that, we should have maybe a red leather lining across the dash to complete it. I think just these two don't quite. No, it doesn't. It stands out too much. So for that reason, we will be going with just a standard black on black. That's it. Compass. Do I want a compass? No, thank you. I'll use my phone. Compass. Central storage box. You know what? I think just to get that defender effect, to feel like I can lean on something, I'm going to go for, it's a cubby box effectively, you know, a higher cubby box. So I think I'll be going for that. Just, you know, as an extra perk for myself. Interior utility rails, yes, definitely. What does that look like? I hear you ask. Let's see. You know how you have your tie down rings in the back of your defender? That's essentially what this is. It's essentially tie down, well, rails at the back in the loading space for you to tie things down. It's refusing to load, but that's essentially what it is. So that is that, and here we are. It's come up now. There you go. And what else do we have? High load auxiliary switch panel and electrical preparation. Now, I spent some time looking into this. I couldn't see the difference between what was originally there and what it was trying to show me, and I'll show it to you here. So here we are. It's obviously this panel, and if I untick it, I can't see the difference. So am I missing something? Do you know what the difference is? So if I untick this, does it mean this entirely goes away? I can't see the difference, really, I can't. And I've done it a few times. So if you know, tell me. If I'm missing something, please tell me. So for now, I'll just untick it. Camp table, really? I mean, people who are buying this probably already have 2-3 camp tables shoved up somewhere. So thank you, Grenadier. I won't be doing that. And then you're finished. And that's it. That really is it. You're done. But you know what? Why don't we take a 360 view around the Grenadier and sort of let's see what we have here. So I'll close this down for now. Thank you. And let's look through my configuration. This is what I really will be ordering if I decide to buy when the time comes. This is it. It's thinking and thinking. I'm not sure if it's my internet or if it's the website. Probably my internet. Probably my internet. Anyway, just look at that color. The black on blue, I think it works incredibly well. Just look at that. What is going on with this loading images? Please stop doing this. So, one sec, here we go. So, I think it works really well. I'm really sorry about this connection issues. This isn't, it's a bit unusual, but it's happening today of all days. But yeah, I think that looks incredible. Now, I'm sure I added rails, these side rails. So let's see what has happened here. Let's close this. Exterior, oh yeah, there you go. It's actually there. It's there. So this is what I'm going to be ordering, and this is my configuration completed. And at this stage, I think we should move on. Just before we move on, I wanted to show you the side rails. There we go, I added them. But what do you think? You think my configuration is great? You think it's not? Let me know what you think. But this is it. This is going to be my Grenadier when the time comes. Black roof, metal blue color, snorkel, safari windows, rear ladder, definitely spare wheel cover. I'm going with the basic wheels, but I'll be upgrading to massive wheels eventually. So that brings us to the end of the configuration. Now, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share with those who would like to see it, and please do subscribe to the channel. It's very, very helpful. I'm trying to build it. And yeah, there'll be more videos coming through on Grenadier and also some on Defender as well. Please follow us on Instagram. We've got an Instagram account on sort of traveling around the UK, camping and sharing our camping experience and sort of people we meet. And there'll be more of those experiences coming through. So follow us on Instagram at Land Rover Lex, L-E-K-S is the Lex. But for now, thank you for watching. Watch the next video on the 3 things I like about the Grenadier and the 3 things they should be improving on. And yeah, more to come. Take care. See you. I'm done, love. So Heli Andres talk about there, and then talk about 2 weeks. Talk about 2 weeks. So Heli Andres talk about the 2 weeks period. And talk about the booking process was fairly straightforward. Just go in. You register, you make your payment, and that's it. And then you get an invoice. So I actually got an invoice which shows how much I paid, how much they actually charged me, and the VAT as well. So that was great, fine, done. And then after that, so heli hand raisers, booking process, and then let's talk about the reservation fee. The reservation fee. So heli hand raisers, 75k, and 2 weeks. Reservation process, £450. And then let's talk about price, 48k. Then we configure on laptop. Okay. Oh shit, I'm already recording.